What is going on, everybody? Well, welcome to Taiji to the People. This is a special episode, though, of Taiji to the People. So welcome to Taiji to the People from Justice for Hire. And if you don't know what Justice for Hire is, it is a show that we are producing with a community, a global cast. And on top of that, anyone can join the cast from their phone from justiceforhire.app. So it's a big deal, and it's never been done before. And every day we're live editing the show on Twitch, and it's a whole thing. Anything you post on the app, justiceforhire.app, becomes part of the cinematic universe. And then we, as a production company, which is called Real World, I'll tell you about that in a second, we pull the content from the app, we select stuff, and then we put it into a show. And that's how we're making a show with a community. It's like Uber for heroes. The concept of the show is like Uber for heroes, where you can hire a hero or become one and get paid. So you can join the cast as a hero or villain or a client that hires heroes and villains from justiceforhire.app. And I'll put a little link to it up here. And the company producing the show is Real World, which is our production company. More specifically, it's the world's first social film studio. So it's all about making movies and shows with the audience, with a global community. And if you want to see more movies and shows made with communities, whether that's more than just Justice for Hire, but I mean, like, you know, fantasy or sci-fi or romance or comedy or whatever it is, then invest in the company. That is like a new opportunity that we have open, that anybody can invest in our company from wefunder.com/REELWURLD. That's wefunder.com/realworld, REELWURLD, because you're in it. And every week I focus on making sure that these sessions, these Tai Chi sessions, are dedicated to the noble cause of the week. For this foreseeable future, that noble cause is going to be Real World. So check it out. But I will be launching, or I actually just launched my Coach Jan's Tai Chi Patreon, which you can also check out at patreon.com/Jan's Tai Chi. And I'm going to put out the video for that, like the announcement video for it soon. I still have to do a little bit of editing on that. But it's all, a bunch of people on YouTube asked me to start a Patreon and for Tai Chi videos, so that I can make higher quality, detailed. When I say higher quality, I mean like also more specifically detailed Tai Chi push hands videos and Tai Chi videos in general. So I have tons of Tai Chi content already coming out, but the folks that are coming onto the Tai Chi Patreon know that if you become a Tai Chi patron, Jan's Tai Chi patron, the video quality is going to increase, and you're going to see very specific. You're going to see the most detailed Tai Chi push hands videos on the planet. I can guarantee you that. So this past weekend, what makes this special, this wonderful event that we're doing today, this event of Tai Chi the People, as this past weekend was the World Series of Tai Chi push hands, the first World Series of Tai Chi push hands. And with this first World Series of Tai Chi push hands, I was the head judge, and it was thrown simultaneously with the World Series of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So we had a bunch of Jiu-Jitsu guys and a handful of Tai Chi folks coming in and playing, and two different events running simultaneously, two different competitive categories. And the Tai Chi push hand side of it was done on pedestals. You can watch it right now. It's 5 hours long. I streamed it. You can see it on my channel. And I'll also have new videos coming with really detailed, really beautifully shot close-ups for each one of those matches. So that'll come soon. Jerry Liu was there. Jerry Liu was covering a lot of the matches and stuff. So really, really great stuff. A huge success. The event was a huge success in Orange County, Laguna Niguel, California, and really historic of us bridging together the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Tai Chi community. So I'm ecstatic to have been a part of it. And I announced to everybody that as the head judge, that you get to compete against me at the end. Whoever wins competes against me. And there's two reasons for this. One, because I've been a part of so many Tai Chi competitions where mostly in the US, I have to say, the majority of the competitions I've done have been in the US, but when I say this, I mean that in Taiwan, when I've competed out there, the judges look like they're like ready to compete. The judges look strong, they look focused, they look ready, etc. in the US, my experience, you'd be blessed or whatever's happening outside. My experience in the US has been that the Tai Chi practitioners often look out of shape. They look like they are not able to truly compete, and are also don't look very skilled. And when I say very skilled, and some of you you may have been my judges, and some of you may be insulted by this, and it's not my intention to insult. It is my intention to clarify that this sport of Tai Chi push hands, which primarily does not really exist in the United States. It existed for maybe a year in 2010 when I competed at the ICMACs with extreme push hands. So extreme push hands was a thing started by Ximing Huang, Dr. Ximing Huang, and Nick Scrima. And Dr. Ximing Huang then left, somehow was no longer a part of the association. And after that, Nick Scrima kept the extreme push hands going with different rule sets. An expanded rule sets to make it a little bit more martially viable. But again, I've not really seen any video content showcasing that they actually succeeded in making it martially viable. It did not look like there were strong, like really strong non-Tai Chi martial artists competing in this thing that really tested the Tai Chi folks. And the big thing about the Tai Chi folks is that a lot of times that you hear a lot of philosophy, you hear a lot of Chi concepts and all this other stuff. You hear a lot of Chinese language thrown out by non-Chinese people referencing concepts that are essentially still foreign to them, to be quite honest. Like someone says Kai or Peng, they say these things that throw them out, and they know a little bit of what that actually means, but they don't really have the language. They may not speak Chinese, and even if they do, they may not have the ability to build the bridge between the languages. Because if you can't say it, you can't explain it in plain whatever your actual language is to other people who may not understand, then you don't fully understand it. So like you don't have the grasp of being able to articulate. Articulation is a massive skill. And so this is a long-winded way of me saying that one of the two reasons I was head judge and competing against whoever won was, one, to make sure that to set the precedent that any judge at the World Series of Push Hands is going to compete against the winner. So, and as we get more organized, this past weekend was not about weight class. We didn't have any weight classes, all unlimited weight class. So, you actually had a lot of heavier weights there. I was actually potentially the lightest one. I'm 174 pounds. Nick, Sifu Nick, I put in Sifu. He is a teacher, of course. But I don't call people Sifu unless they're my Sifu. But Nick Aslep, who I really enjoyed his performance. I competed against him at the end as well. He actually beat me 14-8, and I want to talk about that as well. So I'm going to unpack that here today. But it was really wonderful. It was great to see all these folks get a taste of what Tai Chi World Cup style fixed step push hands can do. And it's really important, not only because of what it can do and what it means for the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu community to see the skill sets, and then for some of the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys to come on and try to test it, realize that they can't win in this yet, but it could help them in their game, their jits game. It was a really valuable and wonderful experience. The second reason why I was the judge is because I want to build a new US Tai Chi push hands team. And what that means is that as the former captain and coach of the US Tai Chi push hands team, I want new talent. And I want new talent, and the only way I can really find new talent is to test new talent. So I have to test whoever wins. I'm happy to test everybody, but the winner is the one who I'm really interested in testing, hence testing Nick. And Nick was really great. I really enjoyed his performance. And, you know, my evaluation of, like, for me, winning or getting beat is like, if this is an exhibition to a certain extent, and it's a test, it's a litmus test for me as a recruiter. So I'm looking at this thing, I'm like, okay, cool. I wanted to beat Nick. I felt like, you know, in my moment competing against him, I was like, I may not have um, the internal, not internal power like chi, etc. Like, I mean, like, mechanically from my training the weeks leading up to it, I'm like, I'm not sure if I can blast this weight, manipulate his weight, because he's 230 pounds and I'm 174. So he's 230 something, like, you know, I'm not sure the exact number, but I'm about 174. So I'm like, I'm not sure if I can lift this extra 60 pounds or move this extra 60 pounds in this direction for after, you know, I was in the lead for a little bit in the beginning, but I wasn't sure if I could actually lift it toward the end. I was like, man, I'm starting to gas out. Strategically, I felt like I felt my mind like not as sharp as it was in the beginning. And so I was like, okay, you know, and then suddenly it was over. I was like, man, like, it's okay, because this is great. This is exactly what should happen. We want the new talent to, or the clear talent to come out on top. We want to identify this clear talent, and we want to evaluate. I want to evaluate the talent. So I really, really liked it. And there's a lot of notes that I want to share with Nick as well, because I think there's a lot of opportunity as a talent scout myself in all aspects of my work and life. You know, I do the same thing in filmmaking and technology, et cetera. Like, I'm always scouting talent for my businesses, and looking at his skill set. I'm like, this is really, really wonderful. There's a lot of stuff that he has, and there's a lot of stuff he doesn't have that we have. And when I say we, I mean we as the US Tai Chi Push Hands team spent time with amazing thinkers. This is, I cannot stress this enough. You can train Tai Chi for a very long time, and you could be very well practiced. But thinking, adapting your Tai Chi to your thinking is really, really its own thing. And also having, like, Josh Waiskin was a chess prodigy. Okay, Josh was my coach. Josh is a brilliant man. Dan Caulfield is a brilliant man. Like, he was Josh's, like, brother in arms, like, right hand training partner. These guys were developing concepts, ideas every few days. They were coming up with something new. So, and they were bringing it into the Tai Chi system. So that is not common. That is completely uncommon, especially in Chinese martial arts. And so, especially in Tai Chi. So the entire team was built around those two guys. And the type of thinking that happened when you have a data scientist come on board, Trevor Cohen, who's working on building artificial intelligence neural networks, you know, like, and I was shout out to the whole first 2004 team. Well, they weren't the first team, but like the team that I was first on with my father, Jancy Childress. Shout out to Irving Yee, to Callum Douglas Reed, and to Parashard Holm, and to everybody on that team. And then shout out to the 2009, 2010, 2011 team. So the 04, 05 team was the one I was on. And then, of course, I was on the 2009 to 2011 team. And so shout out to Jordan Forth, and to whose videos I'm going to be posting a little bit. And one of my former teammates, and Eric William Johnson, and Kanzaki. And, you know, I'm giving a shout out to all these folks, because thinkers, not just train a move and then execute the move. And not just figure out sensitivity. Thinking means strategy, and figuring out how to be Tai Chi in your thinking is its own thing. So to bring it back to training with Nick, I see a lot of opportunity here in sharing some of these concepts, a lot of these concepts, not only with him, but with the entire new US team that we're going to be building. And that's something that you can't get from training in the US circuit. You have to train with, you have to compete at the world class, meaning you have to compete at either Taiwan or Chen Village. And from what I've seen of Chen Village, which I have to go to, I have not been there, so I can't make a true judgment call. But from what I've seen in the videos, it's different. There's a lot of hard, quote unquote, hard Tai Chi, which some people would accuse me of. So there's guys who, whoa, but it's not as finesse as Tai Chi World Cup in Taiwan, because the Tai Chi World Cup in Taiwan has more limited rule set, and that limited rule set yields a particular type of finesse, playing from collarbone to hip rather than playing with ease and grabs, etc. in the Chen Village. So, and that's not to say that the finesse moves can't be adapted to there. But as Cui Shou Chen, 16-time Tai Chi World Cup champion and the son of the greatest, the father of the greatest Tai Chi push hands family in the world, out in Shizhong Tai Chi College. They are amazing, and I always shout them out, and they're all friends and they're great. But if you're not competing against them, you're not going to have the data sets. That's essentially what I'm saying. So, and just because you have the data sets like me doesn't necessarily mean that there aren't other variables that come into play when you go up against another competitor. So again, it's important to note that I felt great about this past weekend. And I felt great about being able to, my son's only ever seen me win. So I felt great about losing in front of my son, but losing with grace. And we went out to dinner afterward with Nick and with Jason Bukic, the promoter. And we had a wonderful time. We had a really, really wonderful time. And, we talked about the future of the World Series League and what it can mean and what it will mean, and how we're going to improve the rules and improve the setup, because we had pedestals, but pedestals are sliding around and moving a little bit. And not to say that that's a bad thing, but it's not it's not what we wanted. I think it's an interesting thing, but it's not what we wanted. So, and it's may not help prepare you for the worlds, meaning Tai Chi World Cup and Chen Village, where Chen Village has higher pedestals, Tai Chi World Cup has slightly elevated platforms. And we want the best team in the world, the absolute best team on the planet, to be coming from the US. And that's going to be interesting because, when I say we, I think a lot of us want this. So how are we going to get there is the question. And we're going to get there by being organized by you wonderful people sharing more about what we're doing at the Tai Chi World Cup. And I'm sorry, not Tai Chi World Cup, the World Series of Tai Chi Push Hands, Taiji Push Hands, because it's spelled differently, Taiji, from the way Jason made the branding, and I appreciate that. So it was a fun time. It was a true success. And I am very interested in working with Jason and working with Nick on building this thing out. So there's more team members to come too. I have some folks that I've reached out to, Jerry Liu as well. Of course, obviously he's been a part of this as well. I'm very, very excited for the good group of people that we have and the good people that showed up. And, Jason, if you watch the video, Jason, announced, he's like, anybody, to the jiu-jitsu guys, he's like, if any one of you jiu-jitsu guys can push Nick or push Jan, I'll give you an extra $500. He's like, you put $20 down and against my 500 and we'll go for it. And so, Nick, after he won, he didn't want to do, smartly enough, he was very intelligent. Like, after you win, you stop. He's like, I stop. He's like, I'm good. I don't want to do it. But the jiu-jitsu guy, I was still there. The jiu-jitsu guy's like, okay, well, let me go against Jan. Let me try to get this $500. I'm like, all right, let's I was exhausted. It was how I didn't get much sleep or much, and had a bunch of nutrition, self-imposed nutritional. My eating was not optimized leading up to the tournament. So I was kind of halfway falling asleep at several times during the tournament. It's not something you should ever do. And if I was competing, if I was truly preparing for a ranked competition, I would have behaved very differently. But right now, I just wanted to show up and be strong, which I feel like I totally accomplished. But in my exhausted state, I was like, the guy's like, huh, I'm like, okay, I guess I'll show up and make sure Jason's words are truthful. Yeah, I didn't want the guy to have no one to compete against, and this should be about persons. It should be about quality. It should be about backing, putting your money where your mouth is, putting your experience where your mouth is, etc. Like everything's about showing up and being real. Can Tai Chi stand up against a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competitor if we play these very specific rules and skill sets? And of course I beat the guy, like, but I didn't beat him as fast as I wanted to. And even at one point, I jammed my thumb on Nick's outfits. He had one of those traditional Chinese outfits. We're gonna ban those. Like that, it's gonna be my intention to ban those because Nick had to take it off after. Like everyone should be competing in rash guards. Like if we really want to bridge the communities, put on a rash guard. Like not even a t-shirt. In the Tai Chi World Cup in Taiwan, I had a rash guard on. They wanted me to take that off and put on a t-shirt. No t-shirts. Like rash guard, rash guard, rash guard, rash guard. Prepare for mixed martial arts. Prepare for people who are going to test you. Prepare for people who don't care that you do Tai Chi. Prepare for them, because those are the people that can benefit the most. The people that can benefit from the most from Tai Chi are the people who don't care about Tai Chi. And that's the point of my entire channel. That is the point of the entire channel that I have here. And it is to share Tai Chi and continue to grow the ecosystem for people who need it most. And so if you do Tai Chi and you're not aware of the Tai Chi World Cup in Taiwan, you're not aware of push hands, etc., then make yourself aware by looking at the stuff on my channel so you can understand, like, oh wow, there's other ways to do this besides the way I'm just being taught. And that does not negate the way I'm being taught. That actually showcases that these skills can be applied in different ways. So it is still Tai Chi. So for those who don't do Tai Chi at all, or who are looking to trash talk on what we do, it's like, hey, well, hold on for a second. Come over here and test us. It's a welcome invitation. Put your money where your mouth is. Put your skills where your mouth is. Let's go. And again, we were very successful this past weekend. Very, very successful. So, like I said, this is a very, what would I call it? Monumental, historical, wonderful weekend with lots of good people. So if you want to watch it, I'll put the little link at the end here, the little link at the end. If you have any questions about what we were doing, what it means, and I'm trying to think about anything else I could say here. I want to I want to be really clear about what my goals are, what my goals were, what my goals are. And yeah, what it means. I feel like I think a lot of times, and I can understand, I want to say this last point. I feel like there's a lot of times especially in the martial arts world, especially in Chinese martial arts. Again, I can't speak too much I haven't competed in judo. I've trained judo. I have not competed. I haven't competed in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I've trained it under John Machado, judo under Oishi. And I've trained Shuaijiao. So I trained all these but I haven't competed in those circuits. So my experience of Tai Chi and Kung Fu is that, you kind of get these broad ignorant statements. And that's not to say that you don't get that in MMA, etc. But I feel like MMA just has just more going on, So like Tai Chi can be very gossipy, etc. Kung Fu, and so when we have something like this past weekend, I really look at it as, I feel like it's really easy to fall into the trap of misunderstanding. misunderstanding what it means for us to have unlimited weight class, for example. Like weight classes are really important in sports. So I think the value with unlimited weight class in Tai Chi is saying, okay, cool. Like Josh and Dan, my coaches, go into unlimited weight class, beat everybody. And I love that. I think it's super important. And they were absolute technicians in what they're doing. And I want to follow in their footsteps, in certain ways as well. So it's like, oh man, like, when I lost this past weekend in what essentially was an exhibition and the litmus test, and like I said, the establishing the pattern of judges competing. There's part of me that didn't feel great. I was like, oh man, like my coaches, man, like, this is, but then I have to remind myself, like, well, hold on for a second. This is for something very particular. So the mission is accomplished. So I want to be really, really transparent with my perspective here. And my perspective really is, I don't feel like I do these long pause thinking videos. I feel really, really good. And I want to make sure that people know that that I have tons of respect for everyone who competed, including Nick, who won, especially his skill set, and that my intention is to, like I said, keep building out the ecosystem with Jason, with Nick, and with all of you, anyone who wants to compete, and to support it, and to keep on like training, like keep on coaching, keep on training. And also, like, I will be returning to the competitive circuit. And so I think it's really important for folks to, for me to clarify that, that this past weekend was not me in the competitive circuit. And I think that, that's one of the misunderstandings I want to really clarify. Is that if I was training to compete this past weekend, it would be, not to say that I would have won. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that when I am on a ranked experience, going into a circuit, and it would more than likely be, I would more than likely be doing multiple, like, you don't go into a tournament cold, in my experience training tournaments, as Josh and Dan taught me. And when that means cold, that means you do warm-up tournaments. So in 2010 and in 2004, we were doing warm-up tournaments. We were, going to the ICMACs and going to multiple ICMAC events. And, getting into that competitive mindset. So I think it's really, really important to be official with what I'm saying here, in that there will be a return for me to the competitive sports Tai Chi push hand circuit. It may or may not be with the next team. The next team I'm very interested in coaching. I am interested in competing, but it really depends on what's going on in my my life. And what I mean by that is that, I'm running this company, I'm running Real World, which I told you about in the beginning, and producing Justice for Hire. We are going to be starting live Justice for Hire martial arts events as well. Jason and I have been talking about this, so I'll let you guys know more about that soon. But if you are not in the cast of the show, get ready. It's going to be nuts and amazing. But stuff like that is my my main focus. So I want to be able to, like I said, judge an event, show up, test whoever wins, whether I beat them or they beat me. It's all good, and it's gonna be great. And those are essentially exhibitions. But when I do make a definitive return to competition, it is a definitive return, and I will gun for everybody. So everybody who's between me and that Tai Chi World Cup gold that I'm really seeking. And if I do compete on the World Series of Tai Chi push hand circuit, That'll be very interesting because I'm one of the you know, the guys behind it. So we'll see. Maybe I'll play in that too. But you know, my intention really truly is one tournament, and that one tournament is the Tai Chi World Cup. I want I want to go back there and get gold after I lost the gold by 1 point and got the silver back in 2010. So, and I already have two golds from the organization, from the previous branding of the organization, which is the Chonghua Cup. From the 7th Chonghua Cup, I came home with two gold cups from there, and a lot of our team did. But to be to have that 2010 silver, I have to go back and get a gold. So, and then I'll probably, but you know, I never know. Like my father got a bronze at 56 years old. So him getting that bronze at 56 in Taiwan is massively inspiring. You know, it's you know, he's out there, he's fighting to win and medaling, and that's a big deal. And a lot of people, at an age when a lot of people think that they're too old to do it. And that's why I love looking at my dad, looking at Mickey Rourke, 67 years old, fighting. I was just at Don the Dragon Wilson's gym. Shout out to those guys. I just got the business card of the guy who owns the gym. Really sweet. I'll post him on my Instagram because he was really real gentleman. But Don's looking to fight again. Don's 67, and you know, they're trying to get Mickey, but they may also do somebody like they may do, I think, Roy Jones. I don't know. It's like really dope. But I love hearing that they're working to get back in the ring, and they're going to do it. It's freaking awesome. So I do plan to fight MMA. You know, like I said, I am prioritizing. When I say fight MMA, I'm really prioritizing what these live Justice for Hire martial arts events that I am going to compete in. Like I will have to compete in those as one of the characters as well. So as a cast member, etc. So you'll see what I mean. It's going to be nuts. But that will be. I will enter into MMA for that. So we'll find out when that happens. But Tai Chi push hands as a main focus. I'm mainly focused on coaching the next U.S. team. I will build that new U.S. team by hand. And this World Series of Tai Chi Push Hands tournament is going to be the funnel in which that team comes together. So the main funnel. So I love you guys. And I've spoken long enough for this recap. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I probably should have just done this as a live Ask Me Anything. Maybe I'll start doing something like that soon. But I have responded to everything you guys have asked for in terms of a Tai Chi Patreon. So I will make the official announcement this week, the official launch this week, and it really is about making the best, most detailed Tai Chi push hands, sports Tai Chi push hands videos possible. Especially, I mean, Tai Chi push hands in general. There's a lot of different push hands exercises, but to actually talk about it, to be able to see and feel through the camera work how something should feel in your body, that's something that I've you know, won a bunch of awards on as an action filmmaker, actually. So I want to take that and put that into my Tai Chi videos. But to justify that, it's really about, like, I have so many other things to do that if I have patrons saying, hey, you know what, I am supporting this monthly as like $5 a month, or maybe I'm coming in at $50 a month, maybe I'm coming in at $100 a month, you know, I'm supporting the production of these videos so that the output, these videos that are created, essentially enhances your game, my game, and the entire ecosystem of Tai Chi and martial arts. So that is my goal with the Tai Chi Patreon, Coach Jan Tai Chi Patreon, and you can find it at patreon.com/Jan's Tai Chi. Of course, you can join the cast of Justice for Hire from justiceforhire.app. and become a hero, client, or villain in the show that we are producing. Client hires heroes and villains. If you want to just learn about it without going to the app right away, you can go to justicefirhire.com, and you can, of course, invest in the studio, my company, Real World, which is all about making movies and shows with communities. You can invest and own a part of the studio, the world's first social film studio, on wefunder.com/realworld, REELWURLD. Again, that's REELWURLD. And that is we just hit a milestone. We just passed $65,000 in raised so far. So it's really, really great. And we're still on the way to the million, and we're going to hit it. It's going to be wonderful. And I'm really, really happy to be doing this with everybody. And, this recap is part of Taichi to the People, which is presented by Justice for Hire. So the recap is really about letting people know, if you're in the Justice for Hire community who normally do my Tai Chi videos, there's no training today in this. It's all about me expressing what happened this past weekend, recapping it, and letting you know that it's bigger than any one video that I post on here. So there's a lot of stuff going on that I would love for you all to get involved in. So I love you guys. I'll see you next week, and I'll see you every day on the channel, my Tai Chi YouTube channel, youtube.com/worldpushhands. I'll see you every day on there because I have content every day coming out. Some of which is classic, old, some of which I never posted before on this channel. I posted on my personal YouTube page before I was really clarifying, hey, Jan's Tai Chi is over here. And so you'll see some stuff that you may not have seen before that is pretty cool, that I was shocked that it's not on my on this channel. So and on the Justice for Hire channel, there's always fun stuff happening there. I only post these Tai Chi videos once a week on justicefirhire.com. I mean, on YouTube's Justice for Hire channel. But there's always something wonderful happening. So I love you guys. And I think the main takeaway is thank you to everybody who made that event fantastic. Thank you to RYSK, Risk BJJ, for hosting us. And check out the wonderful Francisco Lima, Professor Francisco Lima at Risk BJJ. He also has an art drawing, an art Instagram, Francisco Lima Art, at Francisco Lima Art. And his artwork is stupendous. It is wonderful. So check out his wonderful art. As a comic book fan, and as someone who grew up in the comic industry, and someone who publishes comic books as well, I'm always looking for artists and talent. And like I said, across all my life. And so when I saw him, I was like, man, this guy's actually real talent. And so, he takes his skill set of the martial arts and his attention to detail and his patience, etc., and he puts it into his art. So I can't say enough good about him. I really liked him. He's got action figures everywhere. I mean, my son, I'm looking at his action figures. He had the Dark Knight's Metal, Batman Doomsday. Really cool stuff. So anyway, have a great day. Reach out. Shout out to everybody, and I love you.